Hi everyone, welcome back to Bridget's channel. Today's episode is serious but essential. We're talking about a critical set of skills every child needs to stay safe and navigate real-life dangers. Without these skills, they could face life-threatening risks. Today, we will talk about a tragedy that just happened not so long ago, a few months ago, in British Columbia in Surrey. And also, we will share a free PDF of the adaptive skills checklist. If you're interested, stay until the end and we will share that. So what really happened, Henry?
Yeah, actually, it happened not very long time ago. It was actually back earlier this year on February 9th of 2025. So basically, a 15-year-old autistic teenager, his name is Chase de Benenard. He was shot and killed after police encounter in Surrey, British Columbia in Canada. According to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, it stated that they responded to an incident of Chase with a so-called weapon at school. Now, however, Chase's mother reported that Chase was actually merely carrying an unloaded pellet BB gun as part of engaging in role-playing and pretend play and just making silly videos about that, right? And he was not showing any aggression or threats towards the police officers or anyone around him. And a surveillance video was later released recording heavily armed police officers attempting to negotiate with Chase. Now, however, when Chase then raised his arms and apparently at the same time pointing the so-called weapon in his hand towards the police, then two shots rang out and the police officers then basically went after him and tackled him to the ground. Tragically, this certainly isn't the first time this has happened with autistic teenagers in these situations. Right, Sally?
Yes, exactly. So we've seen stories like this from across North America, and I'm going to share two incidents. And one of them is Elijah McLean, a 23-year-old in Colorado, was walking home when police tackled him. He later died in the hospital. And the second one is even non-fatal encounters like the one involving Lyndon Cameron, a 13-year-old autistic boy in Utah who was shot multiple times by police during a mental health crisis.
Yeah, so before we actually start digging into the nuanced context of the shooting of Chase by the police in social media, as you know, with autism, it is personally for me, I believe it's amongst the most mischaracterized and misunderstood of all disabilities. And everywhere you hear a lot of assumptions and stereotypes, and often I think these are very unfair about autistic individuals. So in the mainstream media or even social media, I wonder whether you've come across any of these stereotypes about autism sometime in your life. For example, that autistic people somehow lack empathy, and that autistic kids somehow, unquote, don't know any better, or they just need to be restrained, and that autistic kids who enjoys pretend play are somehow immature, and even worse, creepy.
Right. So what is really happening here? Why are autistic kids seen as threats? And if you have not checked out our previous ASD autism myth busting video, please go check it out after this video, or you can find our link down below too.
Now, many in the social media have already covered kind of attention like to the lack of training amongst educators, police forces, community helpers, and public services about just autism in general. So we're not going to focus on that video today. But what we're going to do instead is we'll focus on what we as parents can do to help prevent or even to decrease the chances of these tragedies from happening in the first place.
Kids naturally enjoy pretend play, and even we teach pretend play skills to children with autism. It's really common. And they pretend to cook, play school, or act as like police officers, firefighters, teachers, and more. And many kids also love pretending to be superheroes and defeating bad guys. But what went wrong in Chase's case? Feel free to pause here and you think about it and comment down below and let us know what you're thinking.
Personally, in my opinion, one of the biggest issues with autistic teens is that some of them still love imaginary play, role-playing, or just engaging with toys far younger than their actual age. So here's the thing, I don't know if you've heard of this before, but if a neurotypical 15-year-old pretends to be a secret agent, somehow it's seen as being creative, unquote. If an autistic 15-year-old pretends to be in a shootout with a BB gun, then somehow it's a, unquote, threat. And I think that really becomes a dangerous double standard. And add to the fact that when there are confrontations of these autistic individuals with the police, they may become completely overwhelmed and may not be able to follow their directions. And these toxic cocktail of factors is exactly what led to Chase's death. Furthermore, and I think a lot of parents may forget that a 7-year-old autistic child may be clingy and may need help with their basic daily tasks. But what about 15-year-old teenagers teenager. Now you're navigating around, puberty, social boundaries, and sensory exploration. So I think it's also really important for us to help our autistic kids to understand personal boundaries and socially appropriate behaviors.
And also, an autistic teen might touch someone's shirt and because the texture feels comforting. But what if that shirt is on a girl in public? Now people perceive it as sexual misconduct. Is it appropriate? No. Is it intentional? Not necessarily. Is it criminal? Not if it's due to disability, punished, and even wrongly criminalized.
Yeah, so I think if we want to prevent or even decrease the likelihood of these tragedies from happening, I think we need to do a lot better. For example, we need a lot more training about autism with the police forces and better education just about autism in the school system, as well as having more honest conversations with parents and caregivers about puberty, pretend play, and social boundaries, and just kind of an overall broader understanding of what autism really looks like. Autistic kids are not broken, they're not violent, and they're just different, like they're different, but being different is not dangerous or being seen as creepy or immature.
Exactly. That's why we have put together a free adaptive skills checklist for you to download. It will help you see if your child has developed age-appropriate skills, and if not, you can use it as a guide to plan what you should teach after the next step. So just head to the description box and click the link, and then you can get your copy.
Yeah, thanks so much for listening today. So if this episode really resonated with you, definitely I encourage you to comment below in this video and just share this video with anybody you know. I think it would be really good. And also, let's keep Chase's name alive. And if you are somehow connected to Chase, if you know him or his family, please feel free to comment and share this video, not just as a memory, but as a call for change. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.